The book of 2 Chronicles chapter 21 verse 14 and 15. Behold, with a great plague will Yahweh smite the people, and thy children and thy wives with all thy goods. And thou shalt have great sickness by disease of thy bowels, until thy bowels fall out by reason of the sickness day by day. Okay, first and foremost, I like to give infinite honors and prayers to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Kahakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to the icons that's pushing the truth and sincerity. Lord willing, this video be edifying first and foremost to the whole elect, then to those that cleave to the body. Now I'll get into the next, the next lesson, as we do them day by day. All right, informing Israel of the upcoming perils that they must face. All right, concerning the anger of the Lord. All right, because the Lord anger is stirred up towards the people. I think it, it tell you that in Psalm, I believe, I think it's Psalms, don't quote me. Let me see if I can get that. Yeah, Psalm 78 and 50. It says, he made a way to his anger. He spared not their soul from death, but gave their life over to the pestilence. Now, we understand that the C-19, all right, and amongst other things, right, pestilence of old have always been put on the children of Israel, all right, and ultimately a kingdom, all right, or with that kingdom which is ruling, which every kingdom that rule have been wicked, all right. So once the Lord is about to take the power from those people and raise up another one, or promote the next king's in charge, all right, what he do is plague the kingdom, man. And part of the plagues, all right, or pestilence, is a part of the Lord's sword is pestilence, which, you would know that as disease if you ain't aware about, if you ain't privy to what pestilence means, all right. It means a disease. Okay. Okay. So let's get pestilence here. We'll read a little bit of this, because it won't be long on it. A pestilence, any infectious or contagious disease or fatal epidemic. You see, a plague, an epidemic, an unwholesome atmosphere, infected, a deadly disease. You see? Okay? So it says a pestilence is a wickedness, evil, sin, a vice. That which is morally pestilential. All right. And a pest is like something that constantly agitates you. All right, like just in general, a destructive, troublesome person, I'm not noxious, okay. So just to give you that little insight, let's get a little bit of this article. It says the WHO, the WHO, World Health Organization, quietly coordinates large-scale simulation with 31 countries to prepare for the next pandemic. And the thing that they do, these devils, all right, they heart is deep, so they go into laboratories, all right, and they come up with these projects and these plans, all right, to further oppress you people by sickness, all right. And it's another you can call it a euthanizing, because it's just like free kills for them, all in the name of C-19, and other a pestilence that they have created for Jake, man, in the past. But ultimately, that's the Lord, with the anger of him, all right, putting it on these, ruling these kings' minds of the earth, or these elites, to put out these diseases. So that's the Lord, man. The Lord said he kill and make alive. So nobody could deliver out the Lord's hand concerning that. So if you do die from a pestilence or a disease, that was the Lord, man. Yeah, he'll use E, because he's going to destroy E as the blame, but at the end of the day, these devils ain't the Lord is cooking up debt for Jake, man. you know, and the world. You know, because they don't just be Jake suffering from these, you know, for the most part. They be put in their neighborhoods and their foods that they eat, but they eat them suffer too. You know, along with Moab and everybody else. Okay? They say they gather together, man. All right? The one consent, man, they just confederate against Jake, man. And this really for you Israelites, you so-called Latinos, Native Americans, and niggas, man. Right? It says, reported for the world, Joe Kovics reported for the World Net Daily that the World Health Organization in December quietly coordinated a large-scale international simulation exercise involving 31 countries and areas. And they use Africa as a hub, man. A lot of them Africans over there are fucking Jakes, man. You know, we're not Africans, but the people that occupy that land over there, all right, they do test runs, simulation, all right, projects, you know. They lab ratting the people, man. And before they use these other countries, before they come to America with it, man. All right? That's their way to test it out. It says officially framed by the WHO itself as getting ready for the next pandemic. What the hell, man? How you get ready for that if that's just something that kind of comes out of nowhere? You know, it be key little words like that you got to look at. It's always, you know, redefine line inside the print, right? The simulation known as IHR Exercise Crystal was not a tabletop discussion, but an extended live play event designed to test real-time responses to a hypothetical novel respiratory illness with global spread. And whenever these devils, all right, want to get on a psyop, a high level of witchcraft or whatever, they join together, all right, and they get their energy from Satan, man, the spiritual demon Satan, all right, to come down. And really, that's the Lord, all right. You know, you got having a king's mind, right? The powers that be are ordained of the Most High. So even themselves, all right, are ordained through the left-hand side of the sword of the Lord to carry out particular things. They still can't just go carry out anything they want to carry out on the people. The Lord got to orchestrate it, use the angels, all right, to work on their minds and then carry it out. You see? It says, while pandemic preparedness exercises are a recognized part of public health planning, the lack of broad public awareness and the use of language emphasizes the next global pandemic has prompted intense discussion about global health strategies, sovereignty, and what future epidemics action might look like. And it's going to be plagues, right? I think it was 7 plagues of Egypt, not 10, it's one of them, I forget. All right, that carried over, you know, that the Lord used to destroy that great nation. All right, and the Lord gonna use plagues here like unto Egypt, because this is likened unto Egypt, to destroy this place. All right, it's gonna be things way greater than that C-19. Like right now, they got disease X out. You know, you can only imagine what that's gonna do. And these pestilence, they gonna as they come roll out, they gonna get more and more aggressive. All right, because the Lord, it's gonna be great miseries upon the earth. The Lord gonna take Jake in great numbers. All right, it's gonna be shit that's gonna be knocking Jake off by the millions and thousands, man. All right, let's get this. Second address 8, I believe. 8 and 50. Yeah, this second address 8 and 50. For many great misery shall be done to them in the latter time they shall dwell on the earth, because they are walk in great pride. Is it 5? Yeah, my bad. Yeah, second address 5 and 1. Nevertheless, as coming the tokens, behold, a day shall come, that day which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of fate. But iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou sayest, or that thou hast heard long ago. And the land that thou sayest now to have root shall thou see wasted suddenly. See that? So, and the way that the Lord gonna waste the land is by death, man. I mean by pestilence. All right. Read it. little bit more of this. I get out of it. The drill lasted weeks and involved operational responses, including real-world systems like airports and border securities. But why they trying this if they don't have any control over the next disease, or it just appear? Because they, these governments, these mountains, which are the elites, and then you got, small like these hills. They all come together with one consent to be confederate against you, Jake. It says governments were tasked with responding to alerts, verifying information, and coordinating across agencies in real time, testing decision making under pressure. The WHO promoted the exercise on social media as a readiness drill for future health emergencies. These kind of simulations aim to identify gaps in international coordination long before an actual pandemic emerges, a practice many public health experts see as essential. The WHO itself emphasizes preparedness as part of its mandate, helping countries develop surveillance, response mechanisms, and collective frameworks that can save lives when outbreaks occur. As the world marks 6 years since COVID-19, the pandemic first erupted, the WHO has publicly asked whether the world is better prepared for new global health threats. In a statement released just days before the WND article, the WHO acknowledged progress and strengthened preparedness, but cautioned that gains remain fragile and uneven, and more work is needed to keep populations safe. And I think it was a year or two ago, I think these devils had another meeting for a pandemic. And they did that here, like a year before Katrina happened in 2005. Cities officials and higher ups, the president and different people, they all congregated here 1 year early to do a natural disaster simulation. All right, it was a year before Katrina. It was like 2004. You could go look it up. All right, I think they called this something, but the name escaped me right now. All right, but it was 1 year before Katrina happened down here in New Orleans that they all met up, man. And then 1 year later, a mass hurricane happened like that. We had never seen a hurricane of that nature, man. All right, so these devils got the role to play in that, because that's the way the Lord, actually kills with his left hand, man. And they're controlled on the left hand side. All right. So that's kind of it for that. I'll bring out another precept or two and get out of here, man. This is 2nd Esdras 15 and 49. Yeah. It says, I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death. You see? The sword is without and the pestilence is within. I think that's Ezekiel 7. Gotta get that. All right. It's necessary. Maybe 7. Yep. There's Ezekiel 7 and 14 and 15. It says, they have blown a trumpet, even to make already. They who blow the trumpet are the prophets. All right. Lord willing, I myself and men who are in like mind, all right, is making people ready to the battle. Right. The Lord about to destroy modern day Egypt and Sodom, which is what? Babylon, the daughter of Babylon. It says, but none go to the battle, for my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. The sword is without, which is a killing instrument, and the pestilence and the famine is within. A lot of people going to die from diseases. A lot of people going to die from hunger. All right. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. You see? So this is what it done came to. Remember, this is dating back to a curse, all right, that Israel suffered as a nation. All right, this was one of the curses put on Jake. So this is going to be, the Lord in the final days of chastising Jake, 2/3 of our people who not going to hearken. He going to hit them with hard plagues, man. This Deuteronomy 28. And 20:21, it says, Yahweh shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke, in all that thou settest thy hand unto for to do. until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me. Yahweh shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until he have consumed thee from off the land, whether thou goest to possess it. You see? Read 22. Yahweh shall smite thee with a consumption, with a fever, and with an inflammation, and with an extreme burning, and with the sword, and with blasting, and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish. All right. So this, again, the Lord anger is set for his day of wrath. All right, that he may consume 2/3 in it. 2/3 shall be cut off and die, but also, the wicked in other nations, they're gonna suffer from it too. All right, but that's the most part. The WHO is preparing for the next pandemic, man. So let's stay tuned. Lord willing, he'll keep his men, in the glory, in the grace of his wings, and then inside his mercy. So no weapon formed against the elect men shall prosper, man. So I don't want what this out was edifying. Till next time I see Shalom.